Hello everybody, welcome to the Redmen TV. I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by Liverpool legend David Fairclough, super sub of course. David, how are you first off, you okay?
Yeah, I'm well, yeah, very well.
Good, I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, we're here sat inside the beautiful Home from Home building, the St Watkins building, just sort of adjacent, if you like, to the Walton Neuro Centre. If you don't mind, I was an ambassador for the hospital. Tell us about your sort of involvement and how it sort of transpired down the years.
My wife unfortunately passed away at the Walton Centre. The Walton Centre was part of the when my wife first had her incident. Through my relationship with one or two of the specialists, it was suggested, last chance perhaps was to come to the Walton Centre. Anyway, Jan came to the Walton Centre and we spent 3 days basically sitting over her bed. We spent long hours sitting in chairs, getting our rest when we did, or as we could. And unfortunately, Jan passed away, created a link there, obviously, with everything that had gone on. At that point, it was suggested perhaps that we should do something in her memory. And I thought, well, that would be nice, maybe have Jan's name on a wall somewhere or over a doorway. That would be quite fitting. She was quite an understated person. But very giving. And unfortunately, unfortunately I say, in jest, it went a little bit bigger than a name on a wall, and the opportunity came to do something really meaningful for the Walton Centre. And duly in time, it was suggested there was a little bit of a space left vacant that was going to be part of the Sid Watkin building, and the concept idea was brought about to build what has effectively become the Home from Home, which is basically an 8-bedroom facility where people, friends and family, if they found themselves in a situation that we'd been in, then they could, have a facility close by where they wouldn't have to maybe go home to wherever in the country, in the north of the country, and people have stayed here from all over. Certainly the north of England, as far as Ireland, South Wales even. So it became sort of an opportunity. It was a nice idea, and obviously in time we raised the money to build the facility. It's been very successful. It's been very much appreciated by the people who have been able to use it, obviously in very tricky and difficult times. So very proud to think that I've been a part of seeing the project through. And now obviously we're on that regular drive to keep it going. We don't charge anything for people to use the facility. And a lot of the fundraising that we do year in, year out goes towards maintaining the facility, as we say, and also delivering it at a no cost facility too. Yeah, no, absolutely.
I've been in some of the rooms just down the corridor here from where we're sat, and they are excellent, like exquisite, brilliantly kept. If you were in that situation, as you touched upon, if you were to come and just find solace really in one of these spaces, it would be just an absolute godsend, a lifesaver in so many senses. And the charity, the Walton Centre, is going to be our charity of the month for May, which is why we're speaking today at the Redmen TV. And it's one that's close to my heart because my own mum spent some time here before she sadly passed away as well, over 30 years ago now. And I just know how much, again, of a godsend this would have been to my family in that circumstance. You mentioned the fundraising there, David. Tell us a little bit about some of the stuff that goes on throughout the year to help this place keep running.
Well, there's a lot of things that go on. People raise money in all manner of different ways, sponsored walks, garden fetes and all these different things. We have one or two big events though that we really rely on support and probably raises. I would let's say we build the biggest amount of sort of cash towards maintenance and other things that we do for the Walton Centre. So we have a ball which is in November. That's a big event, and that's it's become now the Jan Fairclough Ball. Initially, I didn't want Jan's name really sort of attached to it solidly. She wouldn't have been like that. She wouldn't have. She'd been quite overwhelmed. But it's now become the Jan Fairclough Ball, which we're obviously very proud of. And we have a golf event as well, which occurs in May of each year. Now, those events have been run now for 10 and 11 years. Very successful, well supported. And we like to think we've made them into, events that people do want to go to. We have we do have issues of selling places and things, but thankfully, generally, we're really, fantastically supported. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's Walk for Walton as well, which goes on through May, which a lot of people encourage to sort of walk 100,000 steps across the course of the month to raise some money as well. And I believe
there's always different initiatives, and obviously we welcome any ideas for people. People come up with something innovative and fun, whilst sort of doing good for what is an incredible facility, and we're very fortunate in Liverpool to have it on our doorstep.
Well, I'm going to ask you about that, because obviously the hospital does some incredible work, and it's kind of one of its kind, and sort of leading the field, I guess, if you like, in terms of what it's able to do, because you mentioned how far afield people come from for the hospital, and again, to have somewhere like this where the families and the friends can have a little bit of respite is just an absolute, a dream scenario in the worst possible circumstances. And it's also 10 years, I believe, now of this building. You said earlier on how proud you are of it. Tell us a little bit about that and sort of why that is the case.
Well, as I say, the time we spent in the hospital, it was a case of, the family room was basically just a little bit of a room, with all due respect to the hospital. But there was nothing where we could have our own little private space, and we could feel perhaps a little bit of comfort and just have a bit of a rest instead of making trips back and forwards to home. I say we were fortunate because we were we were basically in the Liverpool. We're in the Liverpool district. But some people don't have that opportunity even to go that far away. So the fact that we'd had the inconvenience, although people suffer much more inconvenience than we had, but still, when we had the chat and the idea, and we thought, well, that would be fantastic. Never really thinking that we wanted to be, firmly attached to it as a Fairclough family, let's say. But we felt that we'd like to do some good. It was kind of eye-watering when we were initially presented with the figure to build the home from home. I thought, well, how are we going to do that in such short space? Because there was there was a building sort of schedule set out, and it had to fit into that schedule. We had to find the money. We thought it's a bit eye-watering at the time, but we achieved it, and ultimately, it's come about. I've met so many people who've used the facility and are so appreciative of it. Our own personal friends have used it when they unfortunately had to, when the Walton Centre was called upon to administer treatment for some friends. So it's become really a huge part of our lives, let's say. My wife's memory is well thought of. It makes quite emotional to be in and around the place. But the fact that people have enjoyed it, it really does provide a fantastic service. Walton Centre is unique. There's nothing like it in the UK. As I say, we're very lucky to have it so close at hand. The expertise that here is available is second to none. And the link is strong. And my son's already saying that my grandkids are going to be sort of helping to maintain this thing in many, many years to come. So our link is a strong one, and we're very proud to be involved in it.
And rightfully so, David, as well. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay.
There will be some links in the description where you can find out more about the fundraising and indeed get involved. Once again, David, thank you, and thanks for watching.